I want to get something straight with the vast majority of people out there that are living this lie that love is a feeling. You're delusional. And you're in denial of the gospel scripture. Love is not a feeling. Love is an experience. There's a big difference between the two. And this is why we have so many codependent, narcissistic, childish, immature people today that have been sold the lie into believing that love is in fact a feeling, when that couldn't be any further from the truth. Feelings and emotions lead to irrational perceptions within both man and woman, thus ultimately leading them to spiral out of control, only to fall away from God, along with Christ themselves, later on down the line, by leaning upon their own understanding. So for anyone to believe that love is a feeling, you are delusional, and you're in denial of the gospel scripture. Because I can assure any of you now, love is not a feeling, nor is it an emotion. We live within a world today that no longer operates on common sense, knowledge, wisdom, nor logic. And until we do, it's a world that I want no part of, because I see through it. It's too predictable. And the fact that I can predict shit way before it even happens to me in the first place should tell people everything they need to know about the current world and the times that we're living in. As you can see by the grey hairs and the bald patches, I've been around the block a few times to actually know what I'm talking about. We live within a godless society, and it's only going to get much worse within time before it gets any better. I can only say and do so much for others before I need to take myself away. Because at the end of the day, they're just not listening. Like, they're not listening at all. One or two people, maybe a small percentage, a handful even at best, might be listening. And they may even take on board the information that I share via these videos. And any conversations that I happen to strike up when I'm out and about along my travels. But other than that, the vast majority of people just don't want to listen because it hurts their feelings and emotions. They're wired to think with their emotions and their feelings, or better yet, their feelings and emotions. Feelings and emotions lead to irrational mindsets, which ultimately will lead you falling away from God and Christ later on, thus ultimately resulting to those of you involved becoming a reject, or better yet, a reprobate, a degenerate, because you don't have a conscience. You are unable to discern truth from lies. And you will forever be spiritually and psychologically stunted, as well as impaired. And I don't think for 1 minute that many of you will ever grow out of this mindset. And is there any wonder why that your lives once your temporary fleeting highs have come crashing down above your heads, are going anywhere. Because you're living in fantasy land, a lot of you. You think you have power and control, but you don't. No one does. Us men, on the other hand, we are in control. Because it was us that built society, henceforth the presence of God and the presence of Christ. $4,000 years ago and 2,000 years ago, upon the arrival of Christ, who so happened to be God incarnated within the flesh, because they are both one and the same. This world, man, I'm telling you, it's absolutely, it's cooked, it's baked. And is there any wonder why, like I said, we have so many messed up people, given today's day and age, that operate on feeling and emotion when being challenged. And that right there is unhealthy. It also means that they've not had a fatherly figure within their life to actually correct them, nor challenge them. And I don't necessarily blame the girls, the women, on the other hand, that are in these predicaments. Granted, some of it, it is self-inflicted. I blame mostly the fathers. For whatever reasons, I can assure you, most of the fathers were either arseholes, they were either adulterous, fornicators, alcoholics, drug users, and only God knows what else, while others may have been working hard for a living to put food on the table, a roof over their heads, which ultimately led to the relationship later on down the line between father and daughter breaking down, up to the point where it's beyond repairable. The damage is too severe. I mean, they can all laugh, joke, and make a mockery all they want. They can also enjoy the temporary high while it lasts. Because I can assure each and every one of you now, where there's a temporary high, there is also a devastating low once it's all said and done. And that is a given fact. And it's within the times when people experience the lows it's within these times where growth and evolvement is found. Healing included. Like I said, advice from the wise, troubled maybe, but wise. Don't play games with someone that is already 100 steps ahead. Don't play games with someone that can predict shit before it even happens within his life. Otherwise, it's going to come back around, and it's going to hit each and every one of you involved like a freight train, and it's literally going to lead to your downfalls once it's all said and done. Congratulations, people, you've played yourselves. No growth, and there's no evolvement within this type of behaviour. It's nonsense. There's nothing more to be said on the matter.